Hello, I'm Annie, and these are my musings. Today's video is all about mindset shifts that will improve your life. These are all things that have definitely improved my life. So I'm not just giving general advice, but saying things that have actually worked for me. The first one is, of course, in the title of the video. You don't have to have it all figured out. I think many of us feel a lot of pressure to figure out life and to make it look like it's all figured out at the very least, even if it isn't. But what I've learned over time is that no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has some strengths and some weaknesses. So no one really has it all figured out. They just might seem like it from the outside. But you never know what someone else's life is like, what they're going through, just by looking in from the outside. Everyone has their issues and problems, and that's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. You can figure it out as you go. That's alright. Another one is to do things nervous. I used to never do this. Whenever I would get anxious or nervous, I'd be like, well, clearly that means I can't do X, Y, Z thing. And then, of course, I would not end up doing anything because everything made me nervous. But what I've found as time went on is that I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to feel some level of anxiety when I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. But that's the only way to learn and grow, and sometimes if you do something while being anxious or nervous about it, you find that the anxiety decreases the more you do things that make you nervous. Because you'll be able to reassure yourself, like, oh, that's just like when I did X. And that will help you to do even more things. So basically, do things nervous. Being nervous isn't a sign you can't do something. It's just your mind's way of protecting you from things that seem like a danger. But your mind isn't always right about that. So do things nervous. That leads very nicely into the next one, which is just because you think or feel something doesn't make it true. Now, this doesn't apply to every situation, but sometimes our mind sees danger where there is none. For example, I get anxious or nervous when I'm around a large group of people. Now, are these people actually a danger? In most cases, no. That's just my social anxiety talking. In a similar way, just because I think everyone's going to laugh at me or dislike me or whatever, doesn't mean it's necessarily true. In the last example, when I would get anxious or nervous about doing something and would therefore think I couldn't do it, that wasn't actually true either. I just felt and thought it was. So sometimes your mind and heart can get it wrong. They can protect you from something you don't need protection from. The next one is don't be afraid. Now, I'm not talking anxiety or nervousness, because you're going to deal with that and do it anyway, as I said earlier. This is more, don't be afraid of looking or seeming weird or something along those lines. Now, I admit this is still one I'm working on, but this can apply in so many situations. Don't be afraid to ask a stupid question, because you might not be the only one who has it. Don't be afraid to be passionate about something you enjoy, even if others don't share that passion, because that gives other people permission to do the same with their passions. Be so afraid to say the wrong thing that you don't say anything at all, and I admit, for much of my life, that was me. I was so afraid of saying something wrong or weird that I just often wouldn't speak at all. Now, I'm trying to be braver and to say what I want or need to say, even if it's difficult. As I said, it's something I'm still working on, but I'm getting better with it. So, don't be afraid. And finally, know and trust yourself more. Another one I'm still working on, but I'm getting there. I think sometimes when you might feel a bit anxious or depressed or overwhelmed, you learn not to trust yourself and to not even try to get to know yourself because your mind seems to be a scary place. However, the first step to all of these mindset shifts is to know what you specifically need in order to do them. For example, I needed to know the source of my anxiety. And I recently found out that I'm neurodivergent, and some of my anxiety is due to existing as a neurodivergent person in a neurotypical world. A world where I often don't understand things and get overwhelmed. Another source of my anxiety is sensory issues, which also come along with my particular brand of neurodivergence. So, for example, loud noises, bright lights, and disturbing smells can cause me to feel anxious or upset. However, now that I'm aware of things like that, I'm able to check in with myself and figure out what it is specifically that's making me anxious or upset and what I can do about it. If there's nothing that I can do about it, I simply take a few deep breaths and tell myself I'll get through it. And usually that works to calm me down enough to get through whatever the situation is. So you need to figure out what is stopping you from putting these mindset shifts into practice. And once you do, once you know yourself better, you have to work on trusting yourself and the knowledge you now have about yourself. Everyone knows themselves best, after all, and you have to live with yourself for the rest of your life. So you might as well make your mind a nicer place to be. So if you do get anxious or upset, which will happen, you will know how to deal with it. Know and trust yourself more. And with all of these mindset shifts, they will take time to fully work and for you to see the changes in your life. But I'm definitely seeing some changes already, and I'm sure I'll see more in the future. So just be kind to yourself, give yourself grace, and remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. It will take time and practice to fully embody these shifts, but you will get there. Just don't give up, keep working on it, even if it's a work in progress. Never give up on yourself. You might take longer to reach the destination, but you'll still get there in the end. And that's what matters. That's all I wanted to say for this video. For more mental health and self-care content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.